Hey y'all, welcome back. Oh, 33 fucking minutes. Anyway, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. This is Collective Coffee. There are some things we need to talk about, and then I will get back to doing readings. The drones in New Jersey. The fuck is going on? Okay? If you don't know, now you know. Niles just is stimming. Don't worry about him. He's having fun. So there are and have been like a fuck ton of drones coming out in Jersey, New Jersey. Apparently the FBI started finally investigating them, but this shit has been going on for like at least a week. A lot of speculation about UFOs. It's interesting because this kind of happened at the tail end of everyone else talking about UFOs, like the people in Arizona and Texas. I don't know. There were a bunch of UFOs on this side of the country last week, supposedly. And then all of a sudden, these drones start happening in New Jersey, and they are happening at nighttime. And the government is like, what are you talking about? You know, like always. Exactly. So, apparently, I saw yesterday that apparently the FBI has finally started looking into these drones, but people in Jersey are like, yo, what the fuck, bro? If you know anything about Jersey, I've never been there, but I did work for Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, so I had to deal with a lot of doctors in New Jersey at one point in time. It's not really the place you want to fuck around and find out. From my knowledge. Anyway, so that's happening, and then also want to just, I don't know, I don't have any solutions on that. I think that if you ask me, which is my channel, so I'm going to share it anyway, I believe we are in World War III, but I think that a lot of these things the government is doing just for show, distraction, keep people looking the other way. The Luigi thing is also seemingly a distraction for something else. Whether it's to keep people from looking at the Middle East or looking at... I don't know. I used to worry about when these big stories happened, what was actually going on, like what they're distracting people from, because it's all a game in this country. It's all a game. You know, look up so you don't see what's going down, right? All that to say is that it is happening. It is people's reality, maybe not yours and mine. But that doesn't mean that it's not happening, and it's all over the fucking TikTok. Some people are speculating that they are aliens. I think, I don't know, but like people are also apparently We've been talking this morning about how that is a scream only appropriate for dangerous situations, but he's literally just playing a game on his tablet and mad. So we're still working on that lesson. My son is not in any danger. I understand what that sounds like. He's nonverbal, so that's how we express ourselves, very loudly sometimes. Anyway, and if I go in there, it's just gonna get worse. I already went in there a couple times and tried to let him know to chill out. So anyway, so those things are happening. The Luigi thing is also super interesting. The way that the collective consciousness is rising with this situation. The response of the government is absolutely fascinating. They have the audacity. These people who have literally signed bombs that are being dropped on innocent civilians in the Middle East are getting behind podiums this week telling the American people that violence is not the answer. You can't make this shit up, right? Like, the contradictions, the hypocrisy is the catalyst for collective consciousness. Nobody... Honey, it's just a game. Anyway, so, keep your eye out if you're interested in this information. It is happening. Look, I'm about to do a reading with these cards. A mermaid in the desert. That's me. Anyway. Yeah. Shit's really escalating. Israel has, taken a fuck ton of land in Syria. So Syria was liberated from their regime in the last collective coffee. That's what we talked about. But I wanted to make sure everyone knew that Israel was there, and they've been bombing. Israel has been bombing Lebanon, Syria, Gaza, of course. I don't know if they're in Iran or Iraq right now. I mean, I'm sure they are somewhere. But there's just a lot happening. It's so interesting. Again, the hypocrisy and the contradictions that are coming out. When you look at one news story about these people being liberated from this underground prison in Syria that have just endured in the most inhumane treatment, torture, things like that. This place was literally known as the human slaughterhouse. They, the insurgents that supported the liberation, there's still a conversation about whether or not they were backed by the United States or Israel. Regardless, people are being liberated from this prison in like crazy conditions. They're finding bodies everywhere. And then it's interesting because we're having that conversation as a collective. And then there's like the conversation about Luigi being incarcerated and let me put money on your books. And so just the collective consciousness this past week, like, dude, we're in for it. Like, this energy is insane, okay? And people are aligning to how awful and, like, people are awakening to, not aligning to it. People are awakening to the truth about these systems, regardless of borders or what. Regardless of the systems, the militarization, the torture, the imprisonment, what that looks like here in the United States, the hypocrisy of we're gonna lock this guy up, like the way that the media is portraying this guy to be some fucking monster. You know, the class consciousness is just incredible. The class consciousness is what's making Republicans and Democrats, you know, right and left come together. And that's really great to see, especially as someone who's been really on this boat for a long time. It's incredible to see, but again, American consciousness is about 72 hours on a good fucking day. So it feels like the drones are adding to distractions. You know, what other distractions are there? What other things are, again, look up so you don't see what's going down, right? So keep your wits about you. Continue critically thinking. I've made videos on how to do so. Ask more questions when you are presented, especially if you are presented with information from mainstream media. If you are still in that, I don't know, I feel like that's probably just boomers at this point. I don't think Gen X was ever really into that. So I know millennials, fuck off, right? We don't give a fuck about what the news says. For the most part, maybe class-wise, people do. But, baby, if it's not fun, don't play it anymore. Anyway, just want to get on here and talk about it because it's going down, you know? God, I always quote Kesha. So, you know, if you don't know about Project Bluebeam, you might want to look into that. That's like a falsified alien invasion that a lot of people, I think it's really like a right-wing, maybe even QAnon people think is going to happen. But it kind of, this drone situation is kind of giving those vibes. Either way, if a drone was flying over my house at night, seeing what happened in Palestine, I would not, I'm getting a phone call. I would not look away. I would want to know what that is, right? We are getting into World War III. This isn't really the vibe for today. Today's a really magical day, but I did want to get on here and talk about these things. But I'm going to let you go because this is really affecting my energy. So, okay, bye. Have a good one.